They called it destiny. She called it nonsense. Evelyne Castella had once been the Empire's most admired duchess, graceful, intelligent, and married to the gorgeous Duke Alistair Castella. They were a perfect couple until she was framed, her husband was executed, and she was sentenced to a very unpleasant and dramatic death. His evil twin, Lord Damien Castella, because of course there was an evil twin, had orchestrated the whole thing. As Alistair lay dramatically dying in her arms, he had whispered, "Live, Evelynian, make them pay," which was a lovely sentiment. If only she hadn't died 5 minutes later. But plot twist, woke up gasping for breath, Evelyne bolted upright. In bed. The silk sheets, the obnoxiously fancy canopy bed, and the smell of morning tea told her exactly where she was. 2 years before the disaster. Oh, she was not about to let that happen again. This time, Damien was going down. Step 1. Gather allies. Unfortunately, most of the Empire's elite were more interested in their own drama than actual treason. Seriously, did Countess Henrietta think she could just steal someone's and pretend like it was fine? Step 2. Sabotage Damien's plans. Easier said than done. Damien was annoyingly good at looking innocent. He smiled like an angel and lied like a politician. But Evelyne had one thing he didn't: future knowledge. She spread misinformation like an expert, sent his spies chasing their own tails, and turned his most trusted allies against him. Step 3. Make a grand entrance. The grand ballroom was the perfect stage. Evelyne swept in, dressed in the most ridiculously extravagant crimson gown she could find. When Damien approached, smirking like he owned the place, she smiled sweetly. "Dearest sister-in-law," he cooed, "you seem troubled. Perhaps you need a more competent man by your side." She tilted her head. "Oh, absolutely, but I've checked and you don't qualify." Slap. The room went silent. Damien stumbled back, one hand on his cheek, staring at her in outrage. Somewhere, someone dropped their drink? "How bold of you, Lord Damien," Evelyne said, her voice sugar-sweet. "Speaking of loyalty while slithering in the dark, shall I announce how you plan to steal from your own brother?" Gasps, whispers, dramatic fainting. Damien opened his mouth, but Evelyne simply turned, swishing her gown, and walked off before he could even form a response. Alistair, forever suspicious of his wife's new confidence, cornered her that evening. "Tell me the truth, Evelyne," he murmured, arms crossed. "You're up to something." She grinned, patting his cheek. "Darling, I am always up to something." He sighed. "Fine, whatever it is, I'm in." When Damien finally made his big move, he was thoroughly unprepared for Evelyne's counterattack. His forged documents mysteriously swapped for ones that exposed his corruption. His spies inconveniently arrested. His allies suddenly finding better business partners. The best part? Evelyne made sure he fell for it in the most humiliating way possible. When Damien was dragged before the Emperor, sputtering excuses, Evelyne delicately adjusted her glove. "The true traitor," she said, dramatically flipping open the final piece of evidence, "was never my husband. It was always this fool." And just like that, Damien was arrested. As the sun rose over the Empire, Evelyne stood on the balcony, Alistair beside her. "It's over," she declared. Alistair snorted. "You say that like you're not about to start chaos somewhere else." She smiled innocently. "Me, 'cause chaos, never." And with that, the Duchess turned away, already plotting her next grand scheme. Because, really, revenge was fun, but ruining high society's drama was even better. Asterisk?